Hello, it is Monday, February 27th, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Monday puzzle today, which means a nice, gentle, themed crossword to kick off the solving week. And that's good because it's often the case on Monday. This is my most time-constrained morning, so hopefully we will solve this speedily. Shouldn't be a huge problem if it's of typical Monday difficulty, but we'll just have to find out. So this speedy edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Jenny Montague, Lewis Williams, Camtron, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Shellmaster. Thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support in bringing us this series, sustaining this channel, and keeping this whole enterprise going. I do very much appreciate that. Thank you if you are one of those patrons, a benefactor, or any other. And if you'd like to become one, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field underneath the video. And as a benefactor, you'll get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug. But of course, as a patron of any tier, you get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week, such as the monthly bonus puzzle, which I've just now, as I'm saying this, realized I think I've still forgotten to post to the Patreon campaign. I will absolutely 100% do that today. I'm very sorry about that. So do look forward to that. I have already solved it, so it's just a matter of posting it. And so that will be up momentarily. And then thank you if you've become a patron. It does mean a lot. Please do also subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server in another link in the description field underneath the video. So with that all taken care of, let's get on to the video. This was it is a Monday crossword, and it was constructed by David Rockow. This is David Rockow's second crossword for the New York Times, so welcome back to him. And it was edited, as always, by Will Shortz. So let's start solving and see what we have in store. I can already see some shaded cells. Don't yet know what occurs there. So viewer-supported TV network in the United States. This is, I imagine, PBS, the Public Broadcasting System. And Times, Post, Daily News, e.g., those are papers. Those are common names for newspapers. Am I missing something, you might ask, sometimes while solving a crossword? Schlocky film, like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, that's an example of a B movie, a budget movie. And phone mode for a theater would be silent. Please do put your phone on silent. I saw an opera the other night, and someone had an absolutely blaringly loud phone. It was one of those sort of ringtones where it was just an entire sort of dance track. Basically, was the actual ringtone, and it was just blaring out through the theater. It was unbelievable. I felt bad for the performers. Anyway, maker of instant pictures since 1948. Maker of a Polaroid camera. Is that the name of the company, Polaroid Camera? Oh, I guess it doesn't need to be the name of the company because the Polaroid camera itself could be the maker. It's not just the maker meaning the company. So what does that mean? Polar and me in the shaded cells. That is strange. I wonder what that means. And nights before holidays are eves. And then a donkey is an ass. So, right, what's going on here? I can't really quite tell. If one washes without soap, one rinses. And the 1815 novel on which the film Clueless was based, that was based on the novel Emma. So, this could be another me? Is it another me and then polar, perhaps? No, not polar, because 1997 Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones blockbuster is the film Men in Black. So what is this? We have polar me and me black, and here's our revealer, which says, please be patient, or a literal description of 15, 28, 39, and 42 across. Polar bear, black bear, bear me out, bear with me, please be patient, bear with me, because we have a bear with the word me, a very goofy theme, but it allows me to immediately write me into the grid. And we'll get a few, maybe brown here. The godfather of Saul, yes, James Brown, a brown bear. And I'm not sure about this one, but we'll get there. All right, a tavern could be a bar, an inn, a pub, an angsty music genre, the official alternative music genre of the New York Times crossword, emo. Haven't seen it in a few weeks, I don't think, but it's back. If something is grander than grand, it's epic. I think that was in the puzzle yesterday. And an insect whose name sounds like a letter of the alphabet would be the letter B, or the insect B, it sounds like the letter B. Electronic guitar accessory would be an amp, an amplifier. And I suppose there's nothing in here that indicates abbreviation or for short. I mean, an amp is a word unto itself, but usually even with that, they will clue it with something indicating the shorter version of the word, but not in this case. That's okay. Capital of Egypt is Cairo, of course, and an Egyptian, crossing another Egyptian clue, in this case an ancient Egyptian clue, symbol of growth and rebirth, the scarab, which was actually in the puzzle recently, but as a beetle rather than a scarab, I think. A single-masted boat is a sloop, I believe, and a free ad for short is a PSA, public service announcement. Maybe PBS would run some public service announcements, probably so. Over the ramparts we watched goes the line from the U.S. national anthem, and the number of Q tiles in Scrabble apparently is 1. I didn't know that, but it fits the cross. Sprite flavors, the flavor of the soft drink Sprite is lemon lime, and a descendant is a scion of a, usually applied to descendants of wealthy families, I suppose, a scion. Wealthy or important families. A borrower's limit could be, what, a loan cap, maybe? Is that a phrase? Surrealist with a trademark mustache, Salvador Dali, so there we go. So, loan cap or something like that. Site of an ancient painting perhaps could be a cave, an ancient cave painting. And the top card in many games is the ace. Tie-breaking soccer shots abbreviation. So this does look like loan cap. Penalty kicks. Oh, because it's tie-breaking soccer shots, plural, sorry. Not sure if I properly pronounced that. So PK for penalty kicks. And as I was going to St. Ives goes the poem, I met a man with 7 wives, I think. And each of those wives had 7 cats, and each cat had 7 rats, and whatever else it was. All right, but anyway, it's the Old English poem. Captain Hook's henchman is Smee from Peter Pan. And one reading tea leaves, say, could be a seer who's using the tea leaves for predictive, prognosticative purposes. The N of NYC is new as in New York City, of course, and oh, I never typed in bear with me, sorry. I sort of solved the revealer and then forgot to type it in. That's okay. Didn't seem to have hindered me with those crosses. So please be patient, of course, is the phrase bear with me. Tuscaloosa School informally, not sure about that. Oh, is it Bama? Bama, I've sort of learned more about through the crossword, which is the University of Alabama. Is that Tuscaloosa? Not actually sure, but that's my guess because the school has come up before in the crossword. Patron saint of Norway. I can never remember if this is more commonly Olav or Olaf. Earth's oceans, so to speak. The 7 seas. Okay, here we go. So Olav, patron saint, Saint Olav. Okay, so the 7 seas, as the common description goes, and drinks you can get with or without pulp for short would be OJs, orange juices. Co-creator of Black Panther, Iron Man, and the Hulk would be Stan Lee, the late Stan Lee, and a back muscle in brief would be your lat muscle in brief. So there we get a brief indicator, which we didn't for amp. Okay, classic toy with a jingle lyric, a spring, a marvelous thing. It's a slinky, I think. The coiled metal or plastic toy. Red root vegetables are beetroot. And Italian painter Guido, oh, I can't remember. That's annoying. I'll know it when I see it, but that's no help to me now. Major city in Tuscany, Siena. Oh, is it Renee? Please be patient. I thought that was going to be familiar, immediately familiar to me, but it's only vaguely familiar, and I'm not even sure. Please be patient. Right, so here's another bear. Yeah, so couldn't think of a 3-letter bear before, and I still can't seem to. I wonder if it'll be a funny sort of inversion of this, where it won't be a literal type of bear. It'll be something like a koala bear or a Pooh bear or something, which is not a bear in the same sort of literal sense that these others are. But I'm not sure. And I don't have an idea for what that would be. Textures, I think, could be IMO, in my opinion. And if one takes something to the impound lot, you could tow a totaled car to the impound lot, for instance. Scavenger hunt is a thing, and a pouting expression could be is it moo or mooe? I'm actually not sure, but a pouting expression is sort of making a pouty, upset face. Arrived as inspiration is inspiration struck. There we go. A dark loaf often could be a loaf of rye bread. Rye doesn't have to be dark, but it often is. Usually, I would say by default, it's kind of a dark loaf. Abominable snowman by another name is a yeti, and those who may hosts, the guests of a chat show, for instance. State of matter with the lowest density is gas, I suppose. I mean, by default, gas is of lower density than liquid, which is of lower density than solid, I suppose. Is that true? Do solids and liquids have that same relationship? Actually, maybe they don't. Intrinsically, maybe they don't. Because they would take up the same volume, right? The same weight of, say, water and ice. Assuming the ice had no air in it, which would not be the solid part. I don't know. I suppose absolutely pure ice would probably have the same density as water. Well, someone will tell me, because I'm obviously not educated enough to simply know this. So, all right, if something is real, it is actual. And if something is very thin, it's skinny. A person, for instance. There we go. So if you're like a fox, you're sly. A sandy shade is tan. And a sun bear. Okay. I'm not sure if that fits my sort of little subversion suspicion or not. What is a sun bear exactly? It's a phrase I've sort of recognized, but I'm not actually. Someone's going to have to tell me about that as well. So density and sun bears. So brief time to shine is a moment in the sun. That's a nice phrase to get into the crossword. And degree for an executive would be an MBA, a Master's in Business Administration. Bobby of the Boston Bruins. I think Bobby Orr and Ott are the sort of two classic sportsmen who show up in the New York Times crossword. And I think Ott is a baseball player and Orr is the hockey player. I think this is Bobby Orr. And Mel Ott, I think, is the other one. Rest periods are breaks. And largest art museum in the Americas with thee would be the Met, I would imagine, the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. And if one is prone to creative expression, one is artsy. An Egyptian symbol of life owes an ankh. That's nice. So we had the Egyptian symbol of growth and rebirth, the scarab, and then life, the ankh. That's a nice little pair there. If something is overly the case, it is too much so. And if you're with it, you're hip. Sometimes spelled hep, but usually if it is, there's a historical indicator to suggest it's a mid-century coinage, no longer so much in use. So fish in a Japanese garden is koi. Yes, this is indeed hip. And if you move like a bunny, you hop. So more animals to complement our bears. And no, not right. Okay, I've got to find what I've done wrong. I'll have to just run through the grid and we'll see if I can quickly spot what my error is. Am I missing something right? Oh, scenes. Sorry, I spelled lemon lime incorrectly. There we go. Okay, I'm glad that didn't take long, although from your perspective it probably did, because you would have seen that error immediately as I typed it, and I was utterly taken by surprise, so utterly oblivious to that, and then never looked at film sections. So I guess maybe it's good that I did make that mistake because it pointed me towards a clue I'd completely forgotten to observe. So there we go. All right, and that was the Monday puzzle, a nice, solid, fairly gentle, I would say, Monday puzzle with a nice, fun theme, not a very demanding or taxing theme either. We had our bear with me clue, so I think I got that after after half of them, after two And then James Brown, we jumped straight to Moment in the Sun, took me until the end because Sun Bear was not at the forefront of my vocabulary. So we had our polar bear inside the Polaroid camera, our black bear inside Men in Black, our brown bear inside James Brown, and our sun bear inside Moment of the Sun, all of which complimented me to suggest the phrase, bear with me, to please be patient. And there we have it. That was the Monday puzzle. Very nice. Let me know how you got along with this one and how quickly you spotted the theme. And also, tell me exactly what a sun bear is, because I'd rather just be told than fumble my way through some guesses that are probably going to be wrong anyway, because I just can't remember. And with that, let's discuss a few clues from yesterday's puzzle. I think I just had 2 earmarked here. Yeah, it looks like it. So Nick Hicks points out that La Vie Bohème, the song from Rent, features the lyrics that were quoted in yesterday's puzzle, and it's the upbeat, rollicking, sticking it to the man celebration of the differences of the characters. And I think that was the lyric that referenced Stephen Sondheim and Susan Sontag. So there we go. Thank you, Nick Hicks. And Thing points out, of course, that the English sort of historic county to the west of London is pronounced Berkshire, not Berkshire, which as I pronounced it, probably because I had recently been reading something about Warren Buffett, whose company Berkshire Hathaway is pronounced Berkshire, but that word here in England is pronounced Berkshire. And thank you, Thing, for catching that error on my part. All right, and that's that for today's video and today's puzzle. I'll be back tomorrow for the Tuesday crossword. It should be another relatively gentle themed early week puzzle, so do join me then. But until that point, do have an excellent remainder of your Monday. Take care.